welcome. Because I'm offline here. I don't know what's going on here. Am I online or not? Yeah, let me refresh my page. That's a problem. Let's see here. Looks like I'm online, but it says I'm online. I got 2 viewers. So I was going to assume that Twitch is taking a second to catch up with what I got going on. And I'm live now. There we go. Okay. Alright guys. Well, welcome to the second week of At Work with Dante Maddox for the first time on the Twitch channel. Before I was doing my live stream on YouTube, but now we're gonna move over to Twitch where there's an audience. So basically, I created a comic book story and just realized something very important. The picture doesn't have any legs. And technically speaking, this is supposed to be a pinup drawing just for my DeviantArt page, but I'm gonna take the same image and toss it onto the cover of a special edition of a book called Metro PD. Now, I recently found out that there's a video game called Metro PD, and the nature of the game, I'm going to actually, when the book is released, have a different title. I'm going to change the name of the book because I don't really want to associate, not that I have an issue with the game itself, but it's very stylized and very specific. I don't want any confusion, and I feel like they were here first, so the book will have a different title when it actually comes out. It'll be MPD, because if you check some of my older broadcasts, you'll know that Metro PD is a inside joke within the story, and so it just doesn't make a ton of sense for me to stick to that name if I don't really have to. So these are my characters for the first of a 12-issue series that's a part of a much larger series. And so what I'll do is go over a few things, but first I'll show you basically where I started. So let's see here. We'll get rid of the ink layer and whatever that layer is. Oh yeah, those are the line ink, use those. And then we'll knock out all these colors. And that's kind of how we got to this point. Oh, what? There's still more stuff. And I don't know what this layer is. It's a text layer. I have no need for it. Okay, so that's what I started off with, sort of. Actually, probably goes even farther than that. Start off with this, and then there we go. That's more like it. And then you open this folder, you can see, I really started from scratch. Super scratch. Okay. So, there's my inks and pencils. And we'll put the color back in. Okay. So we'll finish up our colors tonight. And, oh yeah, I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to get rid of this layer. I think it's an accident. And I got to make a folder for Tank so that everything's nice and organized. So I don't know what I'm going to do about the fact that the actual cover this is based on shows all the characters standing around. So, but we'll see. One of my plans was at some point was to move it over to the actual file size it's going to be when it goes in line with all the rest of the pages. It's the books. Each issue will be roughly 30 pages, with about 20 to 25 pages of the core story, and then a little bit of backup stories that will drive the overall sides of each issue based on the different backup stories. So let's see what I got here. Let's close this for a second. There we go, a little more organized there. And we are going to just do a few last minute finishing touches live. And I only do the live show for about half an hour or so. And then after that, I go back to work on the comic book, and all of my comic book production work I try and record. Every once in a while I'll make a mistake and accidentally record the wrong scene, or my favorite is where there's just a blank screen recorded for like an hour and a half. But the work got done, so it's not the end of the world. Okay, so first let's zoom in here. There we go, got my pen going. And so we're gonna put in like what I call the whites, which are teeth, eyes in certain cases, you know, and then we're gonna actually paint Fiona's eyes. So first and foremost, let's open up Fiona's folder. All right, and then we're gonna go here, or drop this layer below that. Okay, and let's see here. What do I got going on with brushes? Make this a little smaller. Eye dots. That was an update for Photoshop. Okay. And so our layers. Do one more layer, and we'll put it underneath that layer. And her eyes are a lovely shade of brown. Now, I'm not sure if brown goes with red hair, but you know, I think it'll work out. Make it a little bigger, and put eyes in there. And this picture is gonna be really small, so I'm not gonna go into great detail on her eyes. It doesn't make any sense. When you get the book in your hands, or even look at it online, I doubt you'll be able to zoom in so close as to see like the different things. But you know what? Since we're here and we're having a good time, let's do a little bit of playing around here. Let's find a nice, interesting brush, something like this, and we're gonna make this a little smaller here. We're gonna put a little yellow in there. And I'm also going to do a little color value while we're here. Just, you know, little finishing touches. Well, not really. There's going to be probably more to it once it's... Let's see. Oh, come on. There we go. Oh, what's going on here? No, I'm not touching the screen. Okay. So there you go. So you really can't tell that her eyes are such a beautiful shade of brown quite yet. But we'll get to that in a second. Anything else I want to work on before we go any farther? Close her, hold her up for now, and go look at Simon's glasses. Simon. I can't do that. Simon's glasses are pretty much black. He's kind of like horn-rimmed glasses guy, but not exactly horn-rimmed. We're just gonna get a big brush and just go just like that. Now, if you are familiar with Photoshop, you are probably wondering why I don't bother with the selection tool. And the truth is because I am sort of in a hurry when I draw, just in general, and the selection tool, even in the coloring phase, it just feels like it slows me down. And so I came up with another technique to sort of get a workflow. Like, I don't want to spend a great deal of time playing with the selection tool or any other tool for that matter. I want to just get in there and draw. And so instead of doing the selection tool, I make layers of each color and use the layers as stencils. So instead of having to select a section and then like just fill it in for ultimate coverage, every time I make a new layer, it goes underneath the last one. And so as I develop each image, it goes faster and faster and faster. Because as you can see, no matter how much I do this, I can't put any black there because I'm technically underneath the color of his skin. Now, if I get rid of his skin layer there, then you'll see a bunch of black streaks. But since you're not going to ever see that because, well, you know how that works. Okay, so glasses. Now let's back out a little bit, and we're gonna make his lenses white. It's kind of cheap, I'll admit, but it's also sort of, well, it's kind of fun to have that kind of effect. And I only do it with him. The other character, one of the other characters you'll see on this image, actually wears glasses as well, but I don't typically mask his eyes. It's really in effect just for Simon, who I'm drawing right now. And I'll back out and give a little bit more background about the characters in the story. But I'd also encourage you to check out my YouTube channel, which is coming up now. That's the name of my YouTube channel, Dante Maddox. You go ahead and search that in YouTube, and it'll come up. And you'll see a picture of a superhero, a black superhero, like a blue like shield lens thing, and that's my deal. That's my YouTube channel, so you can't miss it. Okay, so let's split screen here. Let's split screen. Oh come on, I'm having some issues with my buttons here. It doesn't want to. There we go. Okay, so then we can see that. All right, now I'm on that same. So this is just some minor stuff. We're just gonna throw a color in here, something that kind of matches. Actually, what we'll do is we'll do this. Okay, and we'll give him more style than I need to. And so we're gonna give him. We'll match his little thing, his little hair rubber band, to his tie. Okay, and then we'll this one again. Look, and then yeah, so we're gonna do a little value here and there. There's a special effect to max his eyes because typically he actually wears glasses, and his glasses are super like kind of technical looking. Okay, I will do that. I will absolutely do that. Is that the link to your YouTube channel or mine? But as soon as I'm done, because this is only like a half-hour show, I don't spend a lot of time. So, because I spend so much time from the computer, I find that when I'm trying to draw in earnest, I can't talk and draw at the same time. So mostly this is just recap stuff. So as soon as I get a chance tonight, I gotta take care of my Patreon page and my Twitch channel page and like really do them up nice. Okay, so let's zoom in here and have a look at Kofi's eyes. Kofi's eyes are a little strange. Because Kofi, they're all technically superpowered individuals, but they're not quite superheroes. They're good people though, don't get me wrong. That's a little too on the, let's try it. Let's go here. Well, I like that. Okay. Let's see. We're gonna go in here. Kofi's folder. Okay. So the basic story of Metro PD or MPD or Metahuman Police Division is that the world that the characters exist in is called New World. During the Renaissance, the historical events that we're aware of went differently. Da Vinci was praised not for his art necessarily, but for his scientific acumen, the inventions and stuff that he came up with. And so the king at that time was like, well, hey, how about you make all these cool things so I can win a bunch of wars instead of worrying about art. And so that caused a significant like technological boom long before it was supposed to happen. So the world's like super unfettered progress, but that progress came with a price, and there was a huge natural disaster that threatened to destroy the entire world. Now, because of that, disaster, the whole world was remade and became a different scenario altogether. And when that happened, with the hyper-accelerated technological advancement and the way the world was just a different place from ours, by the time you get to 1985, you get these characters, these grown super soldiers who fought in this big giant war against these radioactive. It's a long story, you know. And so basically, when you pick up with the story outside of the backstory, there you meet these five metahumans who have volunteered to become a police force in a way, or a police division, in order to kind of prove to the world that they were basically safe, because everyone was kind of afraid of the idea of superhumans sort of running around doing whatever they wanted. And so they are a pilot program to prove that they are, a valuable asset to normal society and not just warfare. So a lot of the themes in the story are things like PTSD and natural resources and all other kinds of cool things. So it's a stylized world that takes a lot of cues from things like Star Trek, as opposed to Marvel Comics, where they kind of built up their story with a bunch of different writers to create this giant, like complex machine of storytelling. And I thought that one thing that Marvel or DC never got to do was really build everything from the ground up with a singular vision. And so what the New World Chronicles does is it's like 6 chapters of 12 issues each that brings you through this world's development into a world where people do put on costumes and go fight crime. But in the beginning, it's just these guys, people who have amazing abilities, who are trying to figure out their place in the world and the legacy they're going to leave generations to come. And the story is going to follow you through all those generations. And when it's all wrapped up and said and done, you'll have characters in a world set up for monthly comic books. That's kind of like the idea. Okay, so these are our guys. Here we go. So this is Simon. Big guy here with the glasses. This guy here is Max. Max is actually the Superman of the world and technically the hero of the entire story in a way. He's going to be the only character that's going to appear in some way, shape, or form in every single one of the chapters. Next to him is Fiona, and Fiona is more of the central character of the MPD book, because she is the one everyone is watching to see if she can overcome her demons from this grisly and horrific war. And so she's the one that everyone's looking at to see, can they do this? Can these people with these amazing abilities figure out how to coexist and live in a regular society where if they lose it, if they can't control their emotions and their behavior, it can be dangerous. So she's, extremely powerful and strong and fast. Max, the Asian guy here, and Simon are what are called post-meta, which means during the conflict, the exposure to the radiation of the enemies they fought gave them heightened mutated powers. So Simon is absurdly stronger than your average metahuman, and Max actually has like electricity-based powers. Fiona and Kofi are like the pinnacle of the base like power set. They're like the greatest Captain Americas to ever Captain America since Captain America. And this guy over here is Tank, and he's like Simon. Now, it's a kind of a spoiler, but Tank is actually not on the police force. It's only the 4 of them. Tank is a member of the force, but he's completely undercover. So he appears to work for like the central villain of the story. Now, that's not that big of a giveaway because the very first issue reveals Tank as an undercover operative, not as a villain. And I struggle with this going back and forth. In a bunch of different iterations of the story, the opening sequence and how that pushed the story going forward was always slightly different. One of the differences was Tank, this big guy here, who's kind of, his design is sort of based on Man Mountain Marco from the Spider-Man books. He puts Fiona in a coma in a fight, and then she spends like half of the story in a coma, and I was like, that's just the dumbest thing I ever thought of, because I thought of the story years ago, or in parts. It's a long story. You have to look at the other podcast episodes from last week. There's 5 of them on my YouTube channel that has a playlist of all the At Work with Dante Maddox episodes. Now, the first episode is like 2.5 hours long. It's long, and it's really bad. Like, I just had all this time sitting there talking about all kind of stuff, and I wasn't focused on what you were seeing visually. But episodes 2 through 5 are completely centered on the comic book story, and there's a lot of information about the story itself, the comic books themselves. the picture you're looking at still has some work that needs to be done. I'm nowhere near finished with just the painting and the drawing aspect of it. Like I have to really go in there and start working with some of the different colors. Right now, all these colors are solid. There's not very much variation. It's just inks and basic colors. I also have to maybe go back into the image and give them legs, which actually wouldn't be that big a deal. What I'm going to do is I'm going to eventually, when I'm done painting, I'm going to pull this off of here and just take the drawing and the painting and leave the background here and put it on another image. And when I do that, I'll just draw their legs on them because it won't take that long. And their legs are just their regular hand legs and stuff. So for an example, let's look at our layers here. And I'm going to take all of these folders here and make a bigger folder. And I'm going to call that folder base paints. Okay. So this is our base paints folder. And I'm gonna dump all these guys in there. I'm going to try to. It looks like I'm actually dumping them all at Fiona, which is, oh well, it's fine. And there we go. So as long as, oh wait, that messed everything up. Okay, so now I gotta open up base paint, open up Fiona, and see if I can't do this differently. Oh, bother. Okay, let's see if I can just bring this back behind here. There we go. And then looks like I gotta get Kobe behind Fiona too. So let's bring Kobe out of the folder. I warned people about this issue when I was talking about doing gosh darn it, let's see. So what's missing is Kofi, Simon, and Max. So Simon's right, but somehow she's all of a sudden in front of everyone else, but she's not anymore. So let's see if I can bring her out of there. It did not work. Okay, let's do this. Oh wow, that was interesting. Oh, I put her in line 1. Jesus, this is not going my way. See, this is why, oh my goodness. Alright, let's see. Where is she now? She's in there. And they're all in there. Oh, goodness. Okay. Okay, that's better. Now, how do I get Silent out of the folder? Here we go. Okay, we got that. Now let's get Max out of the folder. Yeah, okay, now Max has to go in front of Simon. On top of them. There we go. Now, I gotta get, let's see. Okay. He's going in base paint anymore. So we're gonna, oh my goodness. So all this stuff is in here? So, oh man, I really screwed the pooch on that one. I wonder what I should do about this. This is so much work I'm doing for no reason whatsoever. Okay, that means I gotta get Kofi, come on out of there. Just come out of there all together. And then Max, you come out of there too. And then Simon, come out of there. And now I can probably, well, where's Tank? Where's Tank's folder? Oh, I don't know where Tank got to. get a little bit of dark value on there. Oh, just a different kind of value in here. There we go. And this music is free YouTube music, and it's on like random or play or whatever. And so it's a little, right now I feel like I'm working on Looney Tunes or something. It's kind of interesting. So so the books, the actual printed copies of the books are gonna be the size of traditional manga books. So let's see here. Stay. I don't know why it does that. It doesn't like to. It doesn't have to stay on its thing. I wonder if I did something in the settings. So that's a better look, and the color quality on the replay is a little bit different than my live color quality. It might be the angle I'm sitting at. That's interesting. Let me see if I can lean back my monitor a little bit and see if I can see what you guys are seeing. I had a problem with that when I drew Max in one of my pages. Like literally, when I had a look. Wait, you know what? Has my screen? Wait, what's going on here? Am I paused? I'm live. Looks like I'm not really moving. Uh-oh, did I? Can anyone see what's going on? Did I freeze? Oh no. Okay, looks like I'm moving a little bit. Anyone? Okay. Just glanced over at the wrong time. All right. Okay, so that is Fiona's jacket, and I'll get more into that and get a closer look at it. But wow, that's already 34 minutes in. Okay, so I want to do. Okay, let's do a last little check and make sure that it's looking what I want it to look when I take to the other page. That's what we'll do. So let's get rid of that background there. Now I'm gonna I'm gonna save a copy of this. Let's see, file, save as, and we're gonna move it off of my cloud storage. And we're gonna go into the current page book. Okay, and we're gonna change this to cover special. Give it a save. Now I should change the name of my file. I guess they got rid of the F button that gives you the screen mode you want. Okay, cover special, perfect. Okay, now let's get the screen again. Oh, there we go. Alright, now I'm gonna go ahead and get rid of this. And for the sake of brevity and maybe foolishness, we're gonna merge visible. Okay, now I only did that because you saw me save this as another file. So the original file with all the layers and stuff are totally still there, you know. Okay, so now that we did that, there is our image, you know, and at this point I could have a quick look and see if there's any glaring holes in the artwork, in the painting. Do I have any bits and pieces missing? I do have things here and there, but there's technically color and value in there, so that's not so bad, you know. And again, I have infinite time to sharpen everything as I want it or leave it like this. I do, at the end, don't want it to look like Photoshop. I want it to look like art, for lack of a better term. So some of the techniques that would be probably better for the average Photoshop user to see me work would probably think of 1,000 things I could do that would be more efficient, or probably an easier way to do certain processes. But at the end of the day, I kind of don't want it to look like I use Photoshop. So I'm a little rough on purpose in certain areas. Others, it's just a lack of knowledge. So it's like a kind of a give or take. So I always welcome someone's take on my work in terms of the technical aspect of it, like how I'm going about doing what I'm doing. But some of it is intentional. Other things are a lack of understanding, you know. And so if you have any suggestions, don't hesitate. But if I tell you I did it on purpose, that's it. I did it on purpose. Okay. So now what we're going to do here is open a new image, and we're going to do it on our workspace. Now, my workspace is 20 inches by 32 inches, so it's kind of big. So we're going to call it MPD special cover. Okay. And that's because comic book art boards, Blue Line product, where the professional artists use to draw comic books, are actually much larger than the comic book you hold in your hand. I used to buy it all the time to do stuff with, and so they're huge. And so I kind of adopted that same idea of basically, let's see here, look at these guys. All right, and we're moving. So as you can see, now that's not that bad, but I don't know if I like that yet. I think I might want to give them some feet. I can always play with it, so what we're going to do now is we're going to get in there and... Did that work? Come on. There it is. Okay. Now hold the shift key down, of course, to keep your ratio, and we're going to make it a little smaller. And that actually... Oh, I want her to be centered, so let's see here. I like that, but I don't. Let's see here. Go in here a little bit, and get a little bit bigger. We're not going to lose anyone altogether, but I think that might be. And also, CreateSpace hates bleeding. So what I'll probably end up doing is making this image slightly smaller inside the space. So let's have a look here. So that's going to be our cover, or something to this effect. I might make it completely smaller and draw feet on everyone. Doesn't really matter. It won't take a few minutes to do that, and I won't be that far behind. But that's essentially what I'm looking at here. Oops, wrong button. Okay. And then of course my title will go here, and then so on and so forth. But yeah, so that's what the cover is going to look like, or something very, very, very close to it. A lot of the hard work is done. If you check out my YouTube channel, you'll see page 18's work, page 19's work. The previous pages are in different stages of completion as I basically developed a pattern and a workflow. So by the time I got to like 16 and 17, I had it all down as far as how I want to go about doing it. But I wasn't recording then, and so the work isn't recorded to put on YouTube. I started recording at page, I want to say 17 or 18. And so I got till page 23, and that's the end of Metro PD number 1, or MPD number 1. That will also be available for free on Facebook. I have a Facebook page, which is Dante Maddox. You'll be able to read the whole thing for free, and I'll encourage people to actually spend a little money for the paperback issue, because in the paperback issue you're gonna get some bonus material, of course. I'm also switching the details on my Patreon account to make it project based and not just please give me money based. I don't know how Patreon's gonna work out for me. I think it'll work out a lot better once I have a physical book that people can pick up and look at, either on Facebook, or it'll be available on Kindle, and so on and so forth, or you'll be able to just get it off Amazon Prime or Amazon and have it delivered to your house. The publisher I go through, which is CreateSpace, which is Amazon's self-publishing platform, I'll be able to have the bin number on the back, the barcode. So depending on how comic book shops order their products, I will be able to peddle it to comic book shops like the old-fashioned way, walking there with a couple of copies of my comic book and saying, do you guys want to order these to sell in your store? Or I can just get a bunch of myself at a discounted price and literally distribute them myself to comic book shops. It all really depends. I figure if I do well with online sales, then it'll be an easier pitch to get comic book shops involved in my local area. I'm in the East Coast. I just moved here. I've lived in California all my life until the last month and a half. So I'm still kind of not sure where I'm going to go for a lot of this stuff. So yeah, but yeah, so this is going to be the cover. If you look back at some of the videos on my channel, you'll see different characters, different drawings, and yeah, that's it. Every night at about 8 o'clock Pacific Standard Time, I will do a live update like this showing you what I did that day. So when I log off here, I'll take a quick break, maybe play a game or probably hit the sack, go to sleep. But first thing in the morning, it's back in front of the computer, and I'm drawing and recording all day. And then at night, when it's all said and done, I'll show you what I did. So I want to thank you for tuning in. Thanks Lift Protocol for hosting me for another viewer, I guess, on her channel, which is really cool. That's really cool. So yeah, I have a bunch of different like things. Like I have a DeviantArt, which is, I think it's well, let's see what it is. Give me a second. Make sure I got the link right. Okay, I thought so. Okay. So, whoops. And like a lot of the work I do on the live show will end up on my DeviantArt page as well. So it's all about the cross promotion, you know. So there is my deviantart.com link. You can see you can work there. There'll be prints available. I have one painting for sale there, which is called Arcane Warrior, and then another painting I'm working on called Survivor at Dawn. And every once in a while, you'll see me work on that painting on this channel as well. It's a big painting, so it's taking me a while. It's just a really big painting, like size and detail. Let's see here. The YouTube link is already there, I think. I'm hoping to get, you know, more subscribers so that I can get my YouTube channel will look better, or at least be easier to search. Yes, 6 subscribers, 94 to go. That's right. Okay, so if you're a new visitor, what's the link look like? There it is. Uh-oh. Okay, that's me talking. Sorry about that. There you go. So there's the YouTube link. Oh, that was my YouTube link on there already, I think. Yeah, okay, there you go. Okay, so there's my YouTube, DeviantArt. Don't worry about Patreon. I'm not worried about it yet. I got a lot of work to do on it still before that thing is ready. And yeah, thanks for tuning in. Once I kind of get, well, this is my 6th show, so it should be this choppy, but that was the first time I had to play with all those folders like that. And I never know how to end the show because I have people watching now. Usually on YouTube, my live stream on YouTube, there's like 1 viewer. And so, and they never say anything. So I'm not even sure that's really a person. I think it might be like an admin to make sure I don't say anything horrible about, like, you know, some poor begotten race, something terrible. Like I got what's the word, like a chaperone or something. So thanks again for tuning in. I'm going to stop whatever this is, stuttering and blithering and all that good stuff, and I'm gonna call it a night. And yeah, if I go on and play some Warframe or something to unwind before I go to bed, you'll definitely, if you're following me on Twitch, you'll see that I'm online playing Warframe or something mindless and violent before I go to sleep. That's the best way to sleep after you use the ninja to destroy thousands of enemies on the space station. Yeah, you know it. Alright, you guys, thanks again.